Inside Michigan Basketball, delivered by UPS. In sports, we often talk of desperate times, teams that have a sense of urgency. Michigan faced two such clubs this week, one at Penn State, the other at home against Minnesota. A Minnesota club that had dropped its last 6 in the series to Michigan, its previous 10 of the last 11 meetings, a team that had plenty of incentive. And at one point at Chrysler Center Saturday afternoon, that Minnesota team led by as many as 9. But the difference with this Michigan club, they never feel like they're out of any game. And that was the case against the Gophers Saturday.
And here's what's going to win this game. You know, extra passes, Gretzky, charges taken, 50-50 balls we get for, ball talk, etc. That's what's going to win the game. Not some play out we draw up or not some incredible dunk lob that we throw. That's not going to win the game. This stuff is going to win the game today. They're used to rambling and gambling on offense a little bit, right, and on defense. No, they're going to see a white shirt, a white national championship 1989 team shirt in front of them all day long. And he ain't going to be here, and he's not going to be here. He's going to be right here in front of them and then contesting them.
Michigan's defense was the difference early. They mixed man and zone, keeping the Gophers off balance. They forced Minnesota into 4 early turnovers, allowing the Wolverines to get out on the wings and get into their offense quickly. It resulted in some buckets inside from Ricky Doyle and Cam Chapman, but the offense was really on track thanks to Caris LeVert. He had 8 of Michigan's first 15, including a runaway jam.
Crossover dribble, knocked loose by Dawkins to LeVert. He'll go uncontested and jam it down. 15-9, and Richard Pitino wants a timeout.
Minnesota hung tough thanks to their three-point shooting. Andre Hollins and Charles Buggs would knock down big shots. Minnesota would take their first lead after making their first 2-point bucket with just over 6.5 to go. The Gophers would keep going strong to the lane, scoring 3 straight layups, 2 by Carlos Morris, and they took a 23-19 lead. Both teams missed some opportunities late, but Ricky Doyle was a presence down low to keep U of M close, and they trailed by a bucket at the break, 27-25. Poor shooting and turnovers plagued Michigan early in the second half, and it led to some fast break hoops by Minnesota.
3-on-1 the other way. Morris scoops, scores, and is fouled.
Morris would complete the three-point play, and the Gophers would match their largest lead by 5. Michigan would answer with a huge triple from Derek Walton and a pretty scoop by Spike Albrecht. But Joey King responded with a 3 to make it 42-37. And the Gophers would extend their lead to 9 with another and 1 by Nate Mason. Michigan then turned it on. A big 3 from Walton. Then he feathered a pretty alley-oop for a lean-in from Irvin. And then a hook pass for Ricky Doyle for a layup and a free throw. Walton then completed the comeback with a huge 3 from the wing.
LeVert penetrates, feeds Walton, open for 3. Ring it up!
The only thing I kept telling our guys is, just keep sticking with it. Some shots are not falling for us, but down the stretch, the ball's going to find the bottom of the net.
That made it 54-52. Michigan was on a 14-3 run. Then with the score 57-55, Michigan, out of a timeout, Walton went to work and lobbed it for Doyle, who jammed it through. He would finish with 12, one of 4 Wolverines in double figures.
Going forward, I need to be, a lot more aggressive for this team to be, where we want to go. So, I guess today was kind of step 1. I'm just, try to feed off of it. But, it always goes back to my teammates just giving me the go-ahead to be aggressive.
And Michigan, in a startling comeback, takes it 62-57 to improve to 3-1 in conference play.
You're learning a lot about how to what it takes to win basketball games. And it isn't always pretty, and it's a whole lot of gritty. So really proud of the way you played. I love your energy. Your passion right now is incredible. We got to continue this path that we're on, right? Where next game it might be the bench that gives us a lot of pop off the bench. Who knows what it's going to be? But we're all in it, and we're pretty charged up after that one.
Well, we knew they really needed a Big Ten win. They haven't got one yet, so we knew we had to come out and do everything possible to get that win, whether it be turnovers, keeping those down, whether it be playing great defense, which we did, rebounding late. So we did all the necessary things to win.
Just nice to see everyone just stay connected and just keep fighting together, because I know there were times in this game we went through a lot of adversity, but we were able to stay together and get this big win for us.
So John Beilein and the Wolverines now have won 7 straight against Minnesota. That is so hard to do in Big Ten play when you're seeing teams and they're so familiar with it. It's quite an accomplishment for your ball club.
It's a lot of good fortune in that one, because I can't recall one that wasn't decided in the last 2 minutes. So I got to applaud our guys right there to be able to execute, stay in a game, because we've been able to win at Minnesota as well. But these last games, whether it was Tubby or Rick today, really been close games. I mean, 2 minutes ago, it could go either way, so fortunate to get this one today again.
Derek Walton was injured earlier this year. His shooting dropped off a little bit. But, boy, on Saturday afternoon against Minnesota, when your team needed him most, when you weren't shooting the ball real well, he rose to the occasion.
You know, of those three, the veteran scorers that we have between Derek, Zach, and Karis, you know, what we need is all three of them cannot have a tough game, whether it's injury or whatever, and that causes us problems. So today, I thought we were solid with Zach and Karis. It wasn't their best games, but Derek's effort, Derek's IQ, Derek was sensational today. It won us the game.
You guys are nursing a 2-point lead. There's a timeout. You come out of it, and he has an alley-oop jam for Ricky Doyle. Did you guys call that into play? What's the read there for your point guard?
Yeah, he's got like 3 or 4 reads off it. So we wanted to get him into what we call a shake area, and then to drive him to the rim and just read how the defense plays. And this is, you know, defense will continue to play you different ways. But he ended up, we practiced that without defense all the time. That was the first time he had thrown that in a practice or a game and been successful with it. So that took some courage to do that. I'm really glad. That's what we have to do. We have to step outside of ourselves and be more aggressive, be willing to make plays like that.
Coming up, our own Ed Kongursky helps us get to know Aubrey Dawkins, who was huge in the win at Penn State. But when we come back, highlights of a huge for the Wolverines at State College. Inside Michigan basketball, delivered by UPS. Let UPS put the power of logistics to work for you.
Big Ten, man, this is why you wanted to play here. This is the highest level of basketball, and that's what happens. And then finally, we compete with the energy, right? Our energy is going to be better than theirs all day long, and it doesn't have, we don't dream it up. You don't come home to your wife one day, she says, how was your day? You don't talk to her, right? It might have been a great day. That's when you got to talk to each other, and you got to talk each other into this energy, right? No matter what happens. You got a lot of games, they're all going to be hard. Face it, live up to it. And then go after it, because we can. We can do it with the people in this room. Let's win. Let's go.
After a slow start, Michigan went on an 8-0 run. It was keyed by back-to-back threes from Karis LeVert and Derek Walton.
Leans in for a three. Bingo. Back-to-back triples for the Wolverines.
I think we had a great start. We came out there to a 10-2 run, which was a big impact in the game for us. You know, they were able to make their comeback, but we were able to stay connected as a team.
Penn State answered with a 9-3 run thanks to the Big Ten's leading scorer, DJ Newble, who had a couple of field goals and a pair of free throws. The home team would surge in front thanks to a couple of threes from reserve John Johnson, and the Nittany took a 19-17 lead. Penn State would extend it to 4 before Karis LeVert hit 2 shots in a row. A 2 and then a 3.
Right wing for LeVert. Left alone for 3. Splash. 5 straight for Karis LeVert.
Coach has been on us. Teammates have been on us about our shot selection. That's one thing we've been trying to clean up in practice, getting easier shots, and I think it showed in our percentages today.
LeVert would lead the way in the first half with 10. Zach Irvin decided to get aggressive late, scoring inside and outside. He finished with 9 first-half points, and the Wolverines led it at the break, 36-29. Michigan had trouble holding on to the ball early in the second half, but Zach Irvin's stroke was pure from downtown, and Ricky Doyle battled inside for his scoring chances and looked good doing it, especially with a baby hook along the baseline. Michigan upped their lead to 10. Aubrey of rush with a highlight jam and a pretty looking 3 to keep the lead at double digits.
Pocket pass to Albrecht. One more. Dawkins in the corner for 3. Got it. Great ball movement on the part of Michigan.
Penn State stormed back, though, behind a 12-2 run to tie it at 53. It was tight the rest of the way, and Michigan would lean on LeVert for some big hoops.
Crosses over. Now slinks into the lane. Ball fakes. Now leans in from 15. Rattled it down. Big hoop for Karis LeVert. Works the right side. Now leans off the window. Oh, that's a tough shot. You heard a little bit of iron, but Karis LeVert with back-to-back hoops. He loves the pressure.
It stayed a one-possession game tug of war until Irvin hit a massive jumper to stretch the lead to 4 for Michigan. He would finish with 17 points and a career-high 9 rebounds. LeVert paced the attack with 18 and would help seal the deal with some tough but clutch shots. Down the stretch, Michigan would win it 73-64.
It was big for us. We talk about getting big road wins in the Big Ten all the time, and tonight was a prime example of that.
I love the way we just came out to start the game, that we came out with really good defense. We rebounded really well today after we just got destroyed on the boards at Purdue. We rebounded really well. We got the ball up the court 10-2, and if you look at the final score, Matt, that was about it. That 8-point lead, you know, while they came back, it held up in the long run.
All right, when we come back, we get to know one of the heralded 5 members of Michigan's freshman class, why Aubrey Dawkins decided to come from Palo Alto, California to snowy Ann Arbor.
This week's Alrose Steel Ironman of the Week is freshman Aubrey Dawkins. Sons of famous fathers have become a thing at U of M recently. Tim Hardaway Jr.
Another 3 on the way. Got it again! Are you kidding me?
Glenn Robinson III.
Catches baseline. Powers it up. Yes! Michigan wins it!
Now we'd like you to meet Aubrey Dawkins.
Dawkins for 3 at the other end. Bang! Come on!
The freshman from Palo Alto, California, is the son of former Duke All-American Johnny Dawkins, now the head coach at Stanford.
As you can imagine, you learn a lot about basketball, about behind the scenes in basketball, about how to play basketball. So very insightful, and also it's interesting dynamic when you get into, when you're on a team or playing for whoever, and you know, he gives you little tidbits and coaching advice, and it's really an advantage that a lot of kids don't get the chance to have.
Raised in Carolina and California and recruited by schools in between, Dawkins says U of M just felt right.
Michigan because I feel like I had the best opportunities on and off the court.
There's been a number of kids of famous fathers who have played here recently.
Yes, yes.
Why do you think so many of them have gravitated to this place?
I'm not sure. I mean, this Michigan, the staff, the players, the tradition, I think it all just brings in good people, good basketball players.
Dawkins is gradually learning the ins and outs of major college basketball. The school load, the late-night road trips, but he's already making an impact on the Wolverines with his all-round game.
Albrecht weaves his Dawkins jams it down. Left baseline, and Dawkins stuffed it through with his chin. Front of the rim.
I've never been a player that's but I've always been able to do a multitude of things, not necessarily great, like I said, but I mean, I'm capable to do many things on the court, and so I think my versatility brings sometimes trouble for other teams.
One thing he was great at in the Big Ten opener against Illinois, shooting, knocking down 6 3-pointers.
When they got me the ball, I was open. I let it fly, just be confident and let it go.
So far, the Wolverines are pleased he didn't go somewhere else. For Inside Michigan Basketball, I'm Ed Kingerski.
Ed, thanks. Let's talk about Aubrey Dawkins a little bit. Some of these guys live in the shadows of their father. He talks to his dad about once a week because his dad's so busy, but he's a really intelligent and highly skilled guy, isn't he?
He's really and mature. I think that's the thing that stood out to us. As you know, us coaches, the mother, don't forget, the mother raises a lot of these kids while dad is out coaching. And between between Johnny and Tracy, they've done an incredible job with him. And he just came in here. That year of prep school helped, but very mature. and as he tries to figure out the college game, like I'm sure Johnny Dawkins is struggling with some of his Stanford freshmen. There's issues that he's just got to continue to get better on, like every other freshman in the country. At the same time, his attitude is consistent every day. How can I get better?
Also trying to get used to the cold here in Michigan. All right, our Coffee with the Coach brought to you by Tim Hortons. This is from Colin and Celine. Cam Chapman's move coming off the bench. How does that and you as a club?
I always thought, and I know this is crazy, it relaxes players when they have a diminished role sometime, and then they can grow from there. Sometimes they're pressing a little bit, and now we can get, what I like right now is we are getting him incredible number of reps in practice because he goes against Zach Irvin every day. We stopped doing the scout team thing. He goes against Zach. And it's like a mano-mano. Who's going to be better? Who does Coach want in the game right now? And it really worked well, and then we're not worried about his minutes as much right now, so we're working with him individual development like crazy. When we practiced this week, if it was 3 hours, film, weights, he practiced 4 hours. So it was really important that we get him extra time and develop his game. He's only 18. He didn't go to prep school. He's only 18, and he missed a year of high school basketball. There's so much development. We're very high on him.
Stay right there. When we come back, the women's story. 2 tough tests this week for Kim Barnes-Arico and company.
Welcome back to Inside Michigan Basketball. The women began their week at 24th ranked Rutgers. After trailing by as many as 19 points in the second half, Marines stormed back and tied the game at 51 with 10 minutes to go. Senior Saisha Ghori led the way with 23 points. Classmate Shannon Smith scored 16 points and added 9 assists, and sophomore Sierra Thompson tossed in 16. But the Scarlet Knights regained the lead and raced on to an 81-68 win over Michigan. The Wolverines returned home on Sunday to host Ohio State. It was exactly 1 week to the day that Michigan beat its other big rival, Michigan State. The Wolverines started out fast and quickly took a 14-2 lead, with Sierra Thompson nailing 2 long-range shots before getting into foul trouble. Ghori dominated inside and finished the first half with 13 points and 10 rebounds. Freshman Caitlin Flaherty made another huge impact off the bench for the Wolverines as the home team took a 45-41 lead into intermission. The Buckeyes opened the second half with a 6-0 run to take the lead for the first time. There would be 4 more lead changes over the next 6 minutes. Ohio State would build a 6-point lead late, but the Wolverines never hung their heads. Senior Shannon Smith then took charge and brought Michigan back.
Smith on the run, middle of the floor, pull up, elbow, got it!
This shot gave the Wolverines a 79-78 lead. Then, trailing by 3 points with less than a minute to go, Flaherty did this.
Yahtzee! Her 5th of the game.
She finished with 24 points, and the game went to overtime tied at 82. Michigan never trailed in the extra period, and Smith ended up scoring a career-high 36 points on her 23rd birthday. 100-94, the final from Chrysler Center.
I'm just happy we got the win over Ohio State. Rather I made 2 points, 36. I'm just happy we got the victory.
Shannon was incredible. 36 points. When you talk about a team, I know people stepped up and really made big plays, but we weren't perfect, but we found a way. And they went on a stretch there where they were scoring, and we needed to get those stops. We got great stops. We found Caitlin, who knocked down a big... I always talk about the team the first year I was here because they were like really a special team, but I don't know if they were able to ever get the state victory, and the victory that you got tonight in the fashion that you did was unbelievable.
It was the first time since the 2000-2001 season that Michigan has picked up wins over Penn State, Michigan State, and Ohio State in the same season. All right, now just one game for the Wolverines this week. They're in Northwestern on Saturday. For Inside Michigan Basketball, I'm Sarah Van Meter.
Inside Michigan Basketball, delivered by UPS, is brought to you in part by Absol Pure Water, the official bottled water of the Michigan Wolverines. Michigan hockey coach Red Berenson did something Saturday afternoon that only 3 other college hockey coaches have ever done: win 800 games. Berenson's Wolverines swept the 9th-ranked Gophers, handing him win number 800, but Berenson, no doubt, was more pleased with his team's 4-game roll and the fact they've won 7 of their last 8. Berenson, one of the best ever in his business. Hats off to the Michigan all-time leader. 2 games this week for John Beilein and his club. 1 on the road at Ohio State, 1 at home against Northwestern. On next week's edition of Inside Michigan Basketball, we'll recap it all for you. Thanks for watching this edition of Inside Michigan Basketball. We'll see you next week. Have a great week, everybody, and go Blue.